Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Joel, and this is A Stable Life. Welcome back to another absolutely gorgeous day here at our stable. Oh yeah, everybody is looking beautiful and nice this Friday morning. We're just about ready to get started feeding horses, and we've got a lot to do today. But I mean, is that really different than any other day?
We got Leia with us. She is excited and ready.
Fridays are a very special day here at the stable because actually a lot of extra things happen on Fridays that you guys really don't see on average because usually I'm not the one feeding. As you can see on this board right here, on Mondays and Fridays, these horses all get fly spray. Not to mention, due to all of the rain that's coming and making our third cutting of hay crop growing and doing well, we also need to make sure we're paying very close and special attention to the hooves, legs, and bodies of the horses. Too much rain on them and we can have some serious skin issues. So we need to make sure their skin is healthy. But before we can do all of that, we need to get the horses inside all their stalls. And in order to have a nice, easy ingress of all the horses, we need to make sure that all of them have grain, get their supplements, vitamins, minerals, as well as their daily nutrients that they need. So let's get started measuring out for all of these beautiful animals. Now, as I'm measuring out, keep in mind that what you're seeing is the morning feeding. We feed twice a day, once at 9 a.m. and once at 3 to 4 p.m. What you're seeing is only half of what they're getting.
Good morning, boys. Yeah, hey, Buster.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Rocky. Yeah, hi, guys. These guys are going to be getting a little bit more personal attention today, so we'll be spending a little bit more time with them. For now, though, it's the usual. Right, guys? Looking nice, too. Looking really nice. Beautiful. Morning, Roni. Hey, William. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Jack. Hey, Champ. Hey, George. Good stuff.
And so that's how all the horses go into their stalls. They know when they go into their stall, there's food waiting for them in their feed bucket as a reward. So every single time they come in, they know if they go to their stall, there's grain waiting for them in that stall. That'll help them remember the process. So every time we turn them in, they know right where to go. Of course, as you guys have seen on the channel, sometimes they don't go in the right stall. And all we need to do is grab them and pull them around to the right stall. Most of the horses don't like a fuss when they come in. They like to come in, go into their stalls, and have no problems. So when they go in and they go to their stall and their stall door's closed, they remember that, and so in turn, they know to go to that stall every single time. For the most part. As with people, you also have some mischievous horses that like to kind of cause some problems here and there. Now, of course, since we have all the horses in, it's time to go and check and see how the horses are doing. But being that it's a Friday, we have some extra work ahead of us that happens every single Friday. I mentioned about the fly spray, that's one thing that we need to do, but I also talked about the rain. So what's involved when we get large amounts of rain in our pastures in order to make sure that our horses have no issues? Let's see. Now we're here with Gavin, who is currently eating his breakfast. Now if you take a look at Gavin, he gets fly spray, he gets sunscreen for his nose. But another thing that we're looking at is if you take a look at his legs going all the way down, when it gets really wet outside and muddy, what we do is we're checking right down here. I believe this is the fetlock. We're looking right at the top of the hoof, and what we're doing is we're checking for swelling, and we're seeing if there is any inflammation or if there's any scabbing. That could be a sign that scratches is taking root
on the horse's leg, and we do not want that.
I've talked about scratches a few times on the channel. It's basically an infection that occurs on the hair follicle of the horse, and it is very itchy and something that you don't want. A way that you can treat it is preventative maintenance, like mud shield powder or MTG. Not to mention making sure they have a clean and dry area that they reside in. Taking a look at both of Gavin's hooves on the front and back, we can see there's no swelling, no scabbing, everything's looking good. We just have to do that 22 more times. Not to mention, we have to also check the donkeys. It's the little things that you gotta really check on to make sure that you catch it right before it becomes a big problem. Scratches left unchecked could develop into an issue that actually starts to affect the horse's walk. Naturally, we don't want that to happen. So if we can, stop it right before it begins by making sure they have a clean pasture and making sure they have clean legs and good hooves, and we're well on our way. But for Gavin here, it looks like we're just doing the regular. So what we're doing is we're just gonna spray some Bannex right up underneath the chin. They don't like their heads being sprayed too much, so. Bannex is great for treating wounds, fungus, scratches, rain rot, all that fun stuff. That's exactly what we need. Now, in case you're curious, scratches is on the legs, rain rot is up here on the body. Gavin is a thoroughbred, and I can tell you, in my experience, thoroughbreds usually tend to need a little bit more TLC than the rest of the breeds. So far, things are looking pretty good. We have a couple horses that have a little bit of scratches, a little bit of rain rot here and there, nothing too crazy. Wanted to show you guys what we're doing to treat it. A lot of you have seen us using MTG, and MTG is an amazing solution. We are still actively using it. But if you look at the back of Poncho, right over here, you can see what we're talking about. You can see how his hair is supposed to be, and then back here where the rain rot is. So what we're doing is we're just gonna scratch any scabbing or anything off. You can use a brush, of course. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of take the mud shield powder and just kind of put it right all over his rump there. Looks a lot like baby powder. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna rub it into the skin. What this does is this is a waterproofing solution, so when it rains, it doesn't affect him as much. You can make all the structures in the world, but you can't force a horse to stay under roof. If they want to be out in the rain, the only way to keep them from being out in the rain is to lock them in their stall. And sometimes they just do not like that. With that mud shield powder in, that'll waterproof his butt, that'll heal his skin. And what's nice is on a hot sunny day like today where it's just healing his skin, it won't cause him to have sunburn. The MTG is oil-based, and so what that oil does when it's on their skin on a hot sunny day, we're trying to help their skin heal, and the oil is actually burning the skin or due to the UV rays in the sun. So we use the mud shield powder when it's really sunny. They both work really good, and the end result is the same. You get a healthy, good-looking horse. Right, Poncho? We still got to put some sunscreen and stuff on him, but for the most part, the horses are looking good, which is awesome. Good boy, Poncho. Good boy. One ear, the other. Nice. Yeah, you checking out the camera? Now you're looking dashing, Poncho. And then last thing before we leave, we're just gonna feel his legs. See what I'm talking about? You see on the white socks, see how pink the skin is? That's very sensitive skin, so you really gotta make sure it's nice and clean. I'm not trying to pick up his hooves, I'm just feeling for swelling, feeling for scratches. No swelling, no scratches. Okay. There we go. I'm doing this with every single horse. You guys are just with me for a couple here and there as we're moving through, but this gives you a good idea of what we got to do when we get into the muddy season and the rain starts coming every single day. Alrighty, an hour later and all of the horses are cared for. Skywalker and Spitfire and Casino all have scratches on their legs. I scratched all the scabs off first, sprayed the Bannex on, and then rubbed it. That's why I'm loving having these gloves. But what we're gonna be doing now is working with the donkeys. I mentioned that Fridays are a special day, and that's because some of the horses get fly sprayed every single day. And that's part of the daily care that you guys see on the videos. But some of the horses are sprayed twice a week. They get sprayed with a different type of fly spray that stays longer. And so
on Fridays, we work on spraying those horses. A lot of those horses are our horses, as well as a few others of our clients that prefer to use the same spray. But those donkeys are also part of those animals that get that spray. They're making their way on over here. I'm told there's a certain way that I gotta do this. So we're gonna open up this box, and in here is the fly spray, as well as the donkey treats. So we're gonna set this up so you guys can see. We're gonna give the donkeys their treat. In case you're wondering what they're getting, it's a spearmint. So you wanna try the spearmint? There you go, buddy, good boy. And we'll take out the fly spray, gotta shake it up. There we go. And then we're gonna spray their backs, their bodies, and their legs. Come on, go, Buster. There we go. Okay, and then we'll give him one more treat as a reward. Here, Buster. Here's his spearmint too. There you go, buddy. Okay, so Buster is done. Now we're gonna try to do Rocky. Here, Rocky. You not like spearmints? Here, Rocky. Look. Spearmint. Spearmint. No? Don't want spearmint. May need to do this off camera. I'm gonna try to get it on camera, but I'd rather just get them sprayed if you guys, I'm sure you guys understand. Well, I was able to get them off camera, so that is good. And with that, that's all of the animals then. So that takes care of daily care, as well as the extra care for today. And now we can finally get to letting them out into the pastures. Those time lapses really are peaceful out there seeing the horses, aren't they? And no worries, guys, I have not forgotten. We are gonna be doing an all-day time lapse. It's coming up soon. I got all the equipment needed to get the camera to run all day, and I just need to do it on a day where it's not raining. That way the camera can be in a good spot and it can just, it could go. I'm hoping to do it basically from start to finish of the day. So sunrise through sunset. One more question to answer before we head over for lunch, and that is, why am I feeding on a Friday? It's a good question. I'm gonna be feeding the horses quite a lot more. The horse schedule works out as follows. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays are the days that my mom feeds the horses. Tuesdays and Saturdays are the days that I feed the horses, and Thursdays are the day that Gavin feeds the horses. This allows my Thursdays and Fridays to be at the Veggie Boys, working on their farm and helping them get what they need accomplished. Of course, if there's an emergency or anything going on, you guys notice that I'm here. And sometimes on Wednesdays and Mondays, I fill in and will work around the stable to get a job accomplished. As an example, last Wednesday, I rotary chopped the entire pasture on the top part here because it was a job that needed to get accomplished. I quickly realized I was running out of time. But anyway, why am I feeding on Fridays? I'm actually gonna be feeding on Wednesdays and Fridays. So my new schedule will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Gavin is now gonna be feeding on Mondays and Thursdays, and my dad is gonna be feeding on Sundays. Well, then what happened to my mom? Well, let me start by saying no worries, she is okay. She ended up tearing her rotator cuff on her right arm. She is right-handed. She just went into surgery and they reattached her rotator cuff, but she's looking at a 6-month recovery and she's in a little bit of pain right now, but she's doing well. She's resting and recovering, and we as a family wanted to make sure that she didn't hurt herself by coming back to the stable too quickly, which is one of the nice parts about us being a family farm. Everybody is working together.
the veggie boys are working harder because they don't have me to help. Not to mention, of course, our grandmother's doing a lot to help my mom back at the house. My wife and I are doing a lot more to help my mom out with the house, but also here at the stable. As you guys know, I'm gonna be taking care of the horses a lot more, and I'm gonna be taking you guys along for the ride. But she's okay. She's just gonna be resting, which is gonna be hard for her. She's a hard-working woman, and she's used to working a lot and every single day of her life. She loves the outdoors and loves those horses. It's gonna be really hard for her not to be here. But for now, we're having her stay back home, rest, and recover after her surgery. And then once she's up to walking around a little bit, we'll have her down here looking at the horses and checking to see how they're doing. Of course, not doing anything and keeping out of the way. We don't want her to get bumped or bruised by any of the horses accidentally spooking while they're walking by. So on Thursdays, I still work on the farm as usual, a full day, because Thursdays are Gavin's days. But on Fridays, it's gonna be like my Tuesdays used to be, where I'm feeding horses, and then in the middle of the day, I'm working over at the Veggie Boys, which is what's happening today. So let's go and see what's for lunch, and then we're gonna be helping the Veggie Boys out this afternoon before feeding for this evening. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them down in the comment section below. I'm not gonna say we're gonna be able to get to all of them, but we will try to answer your questions. So just in case you're curious what the Veggie Boys are up to, we are picking pickles. In fact, we're picking a lot of vegetables this afternoon. I am here with them till about 3, and then I gotta head back. We'll see how much we get picked till then. For now, we're pickling cucumbers, or as I like to call them, pickles. And we're picking the row clean. Definitely not as much here. You can tell it's slowing down. A little.
Oh, but the pickles are kind of hard.
Enough to make it worth your while, just not crazy like we've been getting.
But
And that's why he bought a side-by-side.
Cucumbers. Oh, so you're just turning right around?
Here we go, guys. Look at all those beautiful pickling cucumbers.
Look at this guy out here. What is he doing?
I'm picking, helping you.
Oh, wonderful! High five! Woo! Woo! Tracy! Matt's wife is in the woods somewhere. I can hear her talking.
There you go, guys. That's a full wagon.
Now don't drive too fast.
And perfect time, too. We'll go back, help them unload, and then it's time for us to go feed horses. Nice job, Danny. Andrew, we're gonna need you back here, buddy. We have all the horses in. Now the next job is going to be cleaning out this water trough. Okay. Good. Just gotta take this. There we go. Right out. See all that nice, clean, good water coming out of there. All right, well, while I work on this, we'll fast forward things to when it's clean. There we go. Now we are talking, guys. Miles better. Ugh. That's been on my list of things that I wanted to get done for a long time. That is the nice thing about me working here a couple more extra days. Ooh, we'll be able to really get a lot of our extra projects done, which is good. Well, we already have all the horses in. That's why the pastures are completely empty. So now it's time to turn out, and then that brings an end to today. And then tomorrow we're starting things off in the next video. Pretty sweet, right? So I think what we're gonna do is we'll end the video with the donkeys. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you haven't, don't forget to hit that like button and make sure that you're subscribed. How else are you gonna get awesome content like the donkeys, the horses, the family farm and horse stable, and all other awesome and good horse related content. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.